September 1944, Eastern France. American soldiers had trapped a German force dug into a castle spot. Rock walls, big guns, machine guns watching every way in. Inside, 1,500 German soldiers under a major's control. He'd promised he'd never give up to the Americans. Patton sent a guy under a white flag carrying a basic message. Give up now. Stop the killing. Your guys will be treated as war prisoners under Geneva rules. The German major's answer, bold, big, said with total belief. Tell General Patton that if he wants this fortress, he'll have to kill me to get it. It seemed brave, tough, the kind of thing that fires up soldiers, scares enemies. Patton's answer, 4 words, I can arrange that. What came next wasn't a waiting game. It wasn't a long fight. It was total wipeout, taking under 12 hours, showing that Patton meant what he said. Want to see what happens when you push Patton to do exactly what he planned anyway? Hit subscribe right now. The German spot wasn't some thrown-together defense. It was a real castle, one of many the French had made in past years, spread across the land. Thick rock walls, natural defense help on high land. Few ways in that could be watched by crossing fire lines, below ground rooms that could take shelling, a well giving water. The major running the place had around 1,500 guys, mixed Wehrmacht foot soldiers, some gun teams, scattered officers from different groups that had pulled back into the castle as American soldiers moved forward. On paper, the spot looked strong, taking it head-on expensive. A waiting game could take weeks. The smart move, go around it, leave some troops watching, keep moving forward. But this castle sat on a big road crossing. Leaving it in German hands meant American supply trucks would have to take longer other routes. It was a block that needed removing. Patton's way, always the same. Offer giving up first, not from kindness, though he wasn't mean for no reason, but from getting things done. A given-up spot costs no American losses, takes no time. A fought-over spot costs both. So he sent his demand, basic deal, give up, get treated right, go to a POW camp, live through the war. Your other choice, a fight you can't win, costing lives on both sides. The German major said no. But his no was more than just refusing. He made it about him. He brought up honor, job, his promise to never give up. And he threw it at Patton straight. Want this castle, you'll need to kill me to get it. Other leaders might have seen this as a chance to talk, maybe offer better deals, maybe try talking the major into seeing that giving up wasn't shameful given what was happening. Patton saw it different. The major had said his piece clear. He wanted to die holding the castle. Patton was just going to give him what he wanted, fast, big. When the guy came back with the major's bold words, Patton's team thought he'd be mad, maybe angry, maybe tell them to skip the castle, come back later. Instead, Patton was almost calm. According to stories from officers there, his answer was coldly practical. The major says we have to kill him. Let's not let him down. Then he started giving orders, exact, complete, made to do exactly what the major had dared him to do, but in the fastest way he could. First, Patton ordered a complete circle, not just blocking the roads, total lockdown. Nobody in or out, cut the water if they could. The castle was tough, but the Germans inside still needed stuff, water, later help. They'd get none of that. Second, he ordered every big gun in reach to aim at the castle, not random shooting, exact targets. Rock walls might stop bullets, but they wouldn't stop 155mm shells. Below ground rooms might guard against pieces, but straight hits would cave them in. Third, he ordered planes, not fighter bombers dropping wide bombs. Tank-killing planes with exact weapons hitting specific buildings in the castle area. The major's control room, the gun spots, the ammo storage. Last, and this showed Patton's focus on mind games, he ordered speakers brought up. The Germans inside would hear exactly what was coming, not as a scare, as a timeline. At this time, gunfire. At this time, plane hits. At this time, attack. Give them time to think. Give them time to see their leader's brave stand was going to get them all killed. Last, Patton made it clear to his own leaders this wasn't going to be a careful, safe job. The major wanted a fight. They'd give him one, but it would be so big, so hard, so exactly planned that it would end fast. Get it done in hours, not days. The word to his soldiers just as clear. The Germans inside had been offered giving up. They said no. What came next? Their pick, not ours. The attack started at sunrise, not because sunrise attacks are normal, but because Patton wanted the Germans to spend the whole night knowing what was coming. The speakers had told them the plan. The Germans inside knew that at first light, the guns would start. They had hours to think about it, hours for the less crazy soldiers to wonder about their major's call, hours for worry to grow. When the sun came up, the guns started exactly on time, not random shooting, planned waves hitting specific parts of the castle walls. The goal wasn't just to break things, it was to carefully take apart the defense spots. The castle had rock walls several feet thick. They'd hold up to a lot, but Patton had brought big guns just for dealing with castles. Shell after shell hit the same wall parts, making holes, making weak spots, showing the inside. German guns tried to shoot back, but American return fire was quick, exact. German guns would shoot in minutes. American shells landed on their spots. German teams fast learned, shooting back meant death. After 2 hours of guns, the plane hit started. P-47 Thunderbolts carrying 500-pound bombs, not blanket bombing, exact hits on marked targets. The major's control room took 3 straight hits. The ammo storage got hit, making more blasts that shook the whole castle. The main door got blown off its frame. Through all this, the speakers kept going, telling what was happening, saying what would come next, offering a last chance to give up before the ground attack, making it clear that anyone wanting to live could walk out with hands up, would get treated right. Some did. Small bunches of German soldiers started giving up. First a few, then many. They'd slip out of broken wall parts with hands up, walking toward American spots, picking life over their major's promise. The major tried to keep control. He had soldiers who tried giving up shot as turncoats, but this just made morale fall faster. Soldiers saw they were stuck between American firepower, their own crazy leader. By mid-morning, the castle was wrecked. Walls broken in many spots, gun spots smashed, the control system broken by the exact hits on the major's headquarters. And then American foot soldiers attacked, not from one way, from every hole in the walls at once. Sherman tanks came up close, shot right into gaps. Flamethrowers cleaned out bunkers. Engineers used bombs to drop remaining strong spots, but here's the wild thing. It wasn't the messy city fighting that castle attacks usually turned into. It was planned, almost like a machine, because Patton's prep had been so good that there wasn't much left to fight. German pushback, spread out, messy. Small groups fought a bit, then gave up. The major's threats to shoot runners had failed. There was no solid control left to make them happen. American soldiers moved through the castle part by part. Speakers followed them, telling Germans to give up, offering safety to anyone putting down guns, making it clear that keeping fighting was death, not bravery. The major himself was found in what was left of his control bunker. He blocked himself in with a few loyal guys. When Americans broke in, he reportedly pointed his gun at them. An American sergeant shot him, not big, not after a talk, just doing the job ended the danger. The major had said Patton would have to kill him. That's exactly what went down. The few soldiers with the major gave up right away. They'd followed orders to the end, but once their leader was dead, they had no reason to die too. The whole thing from the start of the shelling to the last German giving up took under 12 hours. American losses, tiny. A few hurt from random German fire, none dead. The careful prep, big firepower had made the real fighting almost boring. German losses, big. The major, dead like promised. About 200 other German soldiers killed, mostly in the shelling or during the last attack. Another 300 hurt. The rest, 1,000, gave up. When American intel guys looked at the castle after the fight, they found proof of how close the major had come to losing grip even before the attack. Notes from lower officers questioning the call to fight. Soldiers who'd been killed for trying to give up. Signs that morale had fallen days before the real fight. The major thought his stand would fire up his guys. Instead, it had locked them in a spot they couldn't hold, with a leader who'd rather watch them die than give up. Patton walked the castle the next day. According to officers with him, he showed no pride, no gloating. He was straight. The major said we'd have to kill him. We did. That's what happens when you dare people to do what they were planning to do anyway. But Patton also did something during that walk. He checked on hurt German prisoners, made sure they were getting right medical help. He had American medics helping German hurt guys right next to American hurt. He wanted his own soldiers to see that once the fighting stopped, they treated prisoners like humans. This wasn't weird. It was Patton's way. Be harsh in fighting, professional in winning. Break enemies who fight back. Help enemies who give up. Never mix up the two. Word of what happened at the castle spread fast through both American, German soldiers. For American guys, it backed up what they already knew about Patton. He would use big force when needed, but he'd always tried talking first. The German major had been given many chances to give up. His death, the result of his own pick, not American cruelty. For German soldiers, the word was tougher, scarier. The story wasn't just that the castle fell. Castles fell all the time. It was how totally, carefully it fell. How Patton had taken the major's bold dare straight, carefully did it. How 12 hours of exact planned firepower had turned a strong spot to rocks. German leaders started passing the story as a heads up when American soldiers offered giving up, especially if they were Third Army groups. You took the deal serious because saying no meant Patton would do exactly what he said he'd do. No more, no less, but with big power. Some German officers later said in questions that they gave up to American soldiers just because they'd heard about the castle. They'd learned that Patton's warnings weren't deals. They were facts. Dare him, he'd take the dare. Push him to wreck you, he would. This was mind war at its best. Not lies, not making things bigger, just truth. Patton meant what he said every time. The castle fight also backed up something German intel had seen about American fighting ways under Patton. Americans would use max force when needed, but they'd also hold back when they could. They weren't randomly mean. They were reliably mean only to enemies who picked to fight. This reliability, almost scarier than random meanness. You knew exactly what would happen if you said no to giving up. You knew exactly how Patton would answer to standing up. The pick, yours, and so were the results. Looking back at the castle fight, it's worth thinking about what the German major's stand really did. He'd wanted to defend German honor, to show that not all Wehrmacht officers would give up easy, to make the Americans pay a cost for their move forward. What he really did, got 200 of his guys killed, 300 hurt, and the rest, thousands, sent to POW camps for a spot that held under a day, slowed Patton's move by maybe 12 hours. If he'd taken the first giving up deal, all 1,500 of his soldiers would have lived. They'd have spent the rest of the war in pretty safe POW camps. Many would have gone home to their families after the war ended. Instead, hundreds died or got hurt bad. And for what? The castle fell anyway. The road crossing was in American hands by dark. Patton's move kept going without real slowdown. This is the hard math of war that some dreamy leaders sometimes forget. Brave last stands make good tales, but they don't change results when you're facing big force. They just add to losses. The major had thought his stand would count, that his readiness to die would fire up his guys, maybe make the Americans think again. But Patton didn't think again. He just used more force. There's a leading lesson here that works beyond army stuff. When you make big claims, you'll have to kill me. Over my dead body, I'll never give up. You'd better be ready for your enemy to take you straight, because some people will. Patton was one of those people. He didn't read bold dares as starting talk spots. He read them as what you wanted. Want to fight to death? Okay, that can happen. The German major learned this lesson too late. His guys learned it at the cost of their lives or freedom. Other German leaders learned it, gave up when offered deals. The castle fell in September 1944. The German major died there like he'd said he would. His name isn't widely known. The exact spot of the castle, less important than what went down there. What counts? The lesson. With Patton, big stands didn't drag anything out. They just changed how hard what came next was. Other leaders might have been insulted by "you'll have to kill me," tried to show they weren't bad guys by offering better deals or doing a careful, safe job. Patton just took it as what you wanted, acted that way. There's something almost coldly smart about this. The major said his deal, only death would make him give up. Patton gave those terms fast, professionally. The major got exactly what he'd asked for. For today's watchers, this brings up hard questions. Should Patton have tried harder to talk the major around? Should he have been less ready to kill someone who was basically asking to die by soldier? Or was Patton right to take people at their word, not waste time on those who'd made their pick? Is there something almost respectful about giving someone their stated want even when that want is death? The answer probably hangs on your view of leading, duty. What's clear? The outcome. The major said, "You'll have to kill me." Patton did. And every other German leader who heard the story learned to be real careful about what they said to American talkers. Because with Patton, dares weren't stoppers, they were go-aheads. Do you think Patton should have tried harder to skip killing the major, or was the major's death his own doing? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you found this video helpful, like this video, subscribe, hit the bell for more WW2 Documenta. Thanks for watching. See you next time.